I think everyone's really noticed how much the team has, the success we found pretty early on, but we did have a not so great result recently. So what we had been talking about before, how does the team take that into consideration moving forward and not forgetting the identity you have?
Yeah, I think that a huge thing we've spoken about is that it's not necessarily we've had instances like this in this season before, even with all our successes. And the coolest thing about that is that it's given us an opportunity to really identify with the fact that we can control so much and that we can change going into the next game. So for us, we look at that as just another opportunity to make sure that we don't change who we are. We are very strong in our identity, and obviously a lot of teams in this league understand our identity and have to change for us. So we move forward in the same way we have before and lean into the successes.
Yeah, what has been working so well for this team so far?
Yeah, I'd say that it's a mix of on-field but also off-field, kind of just like connection and a vibe in general. I think it's like an unspoken kind of just culture amongst us, and I know myself and this team, we've talked about contagious culture and how it's something that's really difficult to grow, and it's not necessarily something that's just on the field or just outside the field, but I'd say that our connections really reflect kind of that show as our personalities off and on the field, and it's good to see how well they mix.
So upcoming opponent, Houston Dash. Yeah, they're 12th in the league, but I think what we've learned about this league is standings don't really matter. I think any team can show up any single day. So how do you keep that in mind and not, pay attention to the standings, but take on every team, sticking true to who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Houston is a very competitive opponent. They, went toe-to-toe with Orlando just the other day, and we as a team respect and recognize that. And understand that this league, what makes this league so good is how every weekend is so competitive. And so for us, again, we look at that as, it's Houston away. It's always a challenge in itself. And it's another weekend for us to really lean into our identity and an opportunity for us to be successful in the way that we play and solve problems on the fly. And against any opponent, that's always going to be difficult. But we know that when we're us, we're always successful.
And I think this year we've done really well on the road. There were those two back-to-back, Louisville, Chicago, and now we're going to Houston, which is freaking hot. So how do you deal with those different climates and how the team has, done still really well on the road?
Yeah, no, it's something we definitely train and talk about prior. I think the most important thing is to kind of mentally kind of dose it into your system. Again, what you're going to walk into, reflective of time changes, weather, and understand that those are just variables that are just completely out of our control. But what we can control is mentally being prepared and set up for the fact that this is where we lean into these challenges, and this league is won by teams who are comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that is something that we want to make very, evident about our identity and who we are as a team. And that's a prideful thing that we have in that. So we're looking forward to, going out to Houston and being able to lean into that.
Boom. 4 questions.
Done. Yeah.